Pulmonary embolism occurs when a blood clot blocks a blood vessel in the lungs. If not treated quickly, it can lead to heart failure. Inari Medical has designed a life-saving device that's able to safely and effectively remove blood clots from pulmonary arteries, giving patients another chance at life.
Vanessa is a journalist with a love of adventure, but over a period of just 5 months, she went from being fit and healthy to struggling to breathe.
Vanessa, tell me, how bad did it get? So just before I went into hospital, if I went out of the bathroom here, I'd walk into the living room and I'd be so out of breath, I'd actually have to sit down and catch my breath for about 5 minutes before I could, just breathe again.
Vanessa had pulmonary embolism, a clot in the artery in her lungs, blocking blood flow to part of the lung. The prognosis from her NHS consultant was a shock.
I actually asked him to give me the figures, and what he told me was that there was a 20 to 30% chance of death within a month if I didn't do anything. And that's when it sank in.
Now, typically that clot originates from the legs. So you may have been on a long-haul flight. You may have sort of had a period of illness where you're bedbound, and that means that the legs will develop a blood clot in the vein. Occasionally, that blood clot can move from the leg and sort of dislodge and go up to the heart and then into the lungs.
Pulmonary embolism is the third most common cause of cardiovascular disease after heart attack and stroke. It's also the #1 cause of preventable deaths in hospitals.
It's shocking because everyone's heard of stroke. Everyone's heard of heart attacks, but not many people have heard of a pulmonary embolism.
Symptoms include shortness of breath, chest pain, coughing, feeling lightheaded and an irregular heartbeat. Some have no symptoms.
Just before I went into hospital, I could feel that my arms seemed like jelly. I mean, there didn't seem to be any oxygen getting to them, and so my arms just felt really heavy. So I started putting them into my coat pockets because I just couldn't carry them. I waited for a long time, and because it was fairly gradual, it wasn't until the day that I had to sit down in a shower that I was so exhausted just having a shower that I sat down because I thought I might faint.
So you can see just how big that clot is.
Treatments vary. There's blood thinning and clot-busting medication, but as Vanessa's clot was older, medication would be less effective. Dr. Akhtar advised a thrombectomy. He used the Inari medical flow retriever device to remove the clot.
The device is essentially a long bit of purple plastic tubing that's really flexible and that goes from the groin up through the heart and into the lungs. And what that allows for is it's so flexible and so malleable that it doesn't damage any of the structures it's going through, but at the same time it allows for us to suck the clot out like a vacuum. We aim to suck out enough clot so that the pressure on the heart when it's pumping blood to the lungs and the pressure on the lungs so that it can oxygenate the blood is relieved.
The procedure was under local anaesthetic. Some patients feel instant relief. For Vanessa, the wow moment happened a few days later.
And when I got up and stood up, I suddenly felt this rush of air go through my lungs, and that was amazing. That was just after 5 months of not being able to take a deep breath, to feel suddenly that burst of air going into that lung that had been cleared. Just was really, really marvellous.
The very sad thing about it is that I would say the vast majority of institutions in the UK do not have this treatment option available to them.
Over time, Vanessa built up her stamina. This is her tackling stairs for the first time after the treatment. She's back doing what she loves, enjoying life's adventures, determined to live life as before.